Hello and welcome. My name is Lee, and this will be the fourth episode of Picard. My thoughts on it. And sorry if it looks like I just came out of a clown bukkake, but I had a slight makeup mishap, and with makeup mishap I mean everything went wrong. But I thought, fuck it, let's do a video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 4, I have to inform you beforehand already. It's going to be much the same like episodes 1 to 3. I'm very torn still, but I will be a little bit more harsh on it. Wait, this door is annoying. Like the wind. Because I feel like the intro is over and the main plot has started rolling, you know? So I feel like I need to judge it less leniently than I did before. So I thought the pilot, captain guy of the ship was actually pretty decent. Like, he was actually a little bit cool and not like too cool for you like he was in last episode, which I found cringeworthy. So if he stays like this, it will be completely fine. Of all the characters, I think I like him the most, maybe, which is weird because last episode I hated him. The blonde lady, the Days from Institute lady, oh my god, I hate her. She single-handedly almost ruins everything. She's just like Tilly from Discovery, and I hate it. She's annoying, irritating, and awful. Just like Tilly, that's what I wrote down in my notes. And I feel like they do it to have this quirky, funny character, like, oh, so relatable. And nowadays series always need that character for some reason. And I say always, but I barely watch any series, so I can't really judge, but at least in Star Trek, they have the need to have this. It feels like they want to include, I guess, I don't know, what do you call it? Are they autism? Is that a bad word? I think non-neurotypical is the politically correct word. But the thing is, I find it annoying. I'm sorry. If you are like that in real life, I still would find you annoying. I'm sorry. And I know people could use the argument, well, I find gay people annoying, so get those out of my entertainment. So, I'm okay with them including it. It's just, I'm sorry. I find these people annoying, the quirky guys and girls who just talk too much and too stupidly. I'm sorry if you are non-neurotypical. But I do know people with autism and they are cool. They are not like that though. Yeah. I absolutely hated that. It's I wrote down, it's like they need a fucking Sheldon Cooper. Because I hate Sheldon Cooper, I hate Big Bang Theory. It sounds like I hate everything. I do not, I promise. Maybe I'll do reviews of other Star Trek series. Then I can gush about what I love. The other lady, the one who lived in a trailer and had a miserable life, she was okay in this episode. Because she's more the down-to-earth person, the reasonable one. And I think that's much needed. So I like it. I like her, not it. I liked the new Romulan lore we got with the battle nuns, the order of battle nuns who always show their emotions and are always honest. That's a cool idea, and it sounds very, like it fits, you know? We never heard of them before, but it just fits. It's almost, you know, like Vulcans who, like, obviously they hide their emotions, and Romulans are always sneaky and lying, so it's like the antithesis to that. And I feel like in a way, it reminded me of Vulcans because of brutal honesty. That's kind of what they do too, although obviously not with the emotional honesty, I guess. So yeah, I thought that was a cool idea. We didn't really get to see much of the battle nuns, like what is the specifics, but we don't need to. I thought the boy was, I don't know, I guess we didn't really see much of him this episode yet, so I can't really say anything. He is a badass, he's quiet. I like him. I rather have quiet characters than whatever that Days from Lady is doing. Get her out of here. Seeing the old bird of prey was awesome. It was really awesome, actually. The battle itself was kind of lame, but Star Trek battles, if we are honest, have always been lame, except for some fleet battles in Deep Space Nine, and maybe a few in Voyager, although those also sucked. Like, Star Trek was never really good at battles, so I don't mind if they continue that trend. I didn't expect anything better. But it was cool. There were a few cool scenes, like the effects are on point, so I really enjoyed that. And it makes sense that one really old bird of prey would be able, in this backwater, like lawless region, where there are just a few refugees on a shitty planet, it makes sense that that one ship could exert so much power. It makes sense in universe. And I like they mentioned some form of rangers. I assume they are Romulan, a Romulan faction, or not faction, but institution. I don't know. They don't need to specify things. I like when things are somewhat vague. But that's a cool idea. Like, Starfleet can't be the space police everywhere. Obviously not in this future where they are shitty and evil and bad. So it makes sense that someone else would try to police things. But, like, how awful and bad do the Rangers have to be if they can't cope with one heavily outdated bird of prey? Bird of preys are like the lowest ship class. Like, they're good offensively, but like, you just need to lay down a mine or hit with one torpedo and they could be gone. So the Rangers, I don't know what they are, but they suck. The planetary grid. Wait, that's a note I had later. So let's first do. Why is Picard such an asshole? I've written that down. I guess it's a running theme. Like, in every episode so far, he pisses people off left and right. But the thing is, his transformation from noble, intelligent man to grumpy old asshole happened off screen, like after Nemesis, caused by Data's death. So it's on purpose, but it still doesn't make it less jarring. Like, why is Picard such a flaming douchebag? What's happening, man? And my mom thought he started the fight, in the bar, because he knew he would be beamed out soon, and he could just start shit without consequences. That thought would have made him a supreme asshole, like, total dickbag. I thought that, they said 7 minutes, and then he was like 1 minute walking around, I guess. I thought he did it not knowing whether he would be beamed out of time. Like, he didn't know that when exactly they would be ready and when shit would hit the fan. So for me it was like very irresponsible. Like, he could have easily died. Like, he starts shit. Like, imagine you find like a Nazi establishment, like they have the boots and the hair like thereof. You know how Nazis look. And I'm against Nazis, but I wouldn't just kick the door in and spit on the ground. He didn't do that, but It's the equivalent of doing that. Maybe if I was suicidal, yeah, I would do that. If I knew the police were coming or were standing right there, maybe. I don't trust them to be there quick enough and to help me quick enough, regardless. But like, either way you look at it, either he was incredibly stupid and irresponsible, or just a huge asshole just to rub it in, like, and a coward, because they started a fight and he threw away his weapon. I guess it doesn't make him a coward, because it takes some courage to accept death, but it's so unnecessary. He's on a mission. That was so weird. So, and then I that is a huge issue for me. But how did they know to beam up the Romulan kid? He's not a kid anymore, but him too, when Picard said beam me up. Because he did not say to beam up. And even then there were Romulans all around him, so they couldn't really tell. I thought they would address it in a throwaway line, like, oh, good thing you told me off screen that if there is a young Romulan with a stick, you should beam him up too. Like, that would make sense. But they didn't. It was never explained why they knew that they should beam up to, and which two they should beam up. Sometimes it's when they are touching in Star Trek, I think, that they beam up that biosignature as well, or put a comm badge on it. They didn't do that, and it irritates me. I guess they won't explain it next episode, because that would be too detached. Like, no one would know what they're talking about anymore. But it's so annoying. Why? A throwaway line would have fixed it. And how come they couldn't find a job or a home for this boy in 14 years? I got the feeling that they didn't want him at the monastery, because he was male. And yeah, they aren't here to raise kids. So I got the feeling that, they were looking for a nice place to stay. That's why, obviously, there are no nice places there in that shithole planet. But the thing is, how hard can it be to, like, he could have easily gotten a job. So there are like 500,000 people, they said. I don't remember the exact number, whether it is 500,000. I have 500,000 in my head. There's a job for him, I guarantee it. And there is a place to live for him that isn't totally awful, I guarantee it. Can't tell me they haven't found one in 14 years. I guess maybe they were looking for foster parents as well, so... Okay, I guess I buy it. It's not a huge issue for me. Just something I wondered. How can the Romulans afford a planetary defense system like that is super expensive, and it's a shithole planet? They show this. It's an awful world with not much going on, not many resources. I mean, they are all pissed that they have to live there. How can they afford such a high-tech thing that not even Mars, not even Earth have? Earth, the center of Starfleet and the Federation, doesn't have that. And they say, oh, it's outdated, it's a bit old. But if that is an old one, then what does a new one look like? We saw it in Deep Space Nine, I think. The orbital platforms from the Cardassians. Those were just weapons. Although that one asteroid had a shield grid, I think. Yeah, it did have. But that's an asteroid. An asteroid is incredibly small when compared to an M-class planet. It's easy to shield that, relatively speaking. And they had just weapons platform, which is already a huge task for the Cardassian Star Empire. I don't know if they are called that. The Cardassians. a huge people. That was at the peak of their power. These are Romulans after everything has been destroyed on a planet that was barren before, or at least it looked like that. And they have a shield grid spanning an M-class planet. I feel like maybe you don't understand, but if you've watched any Star Trek series before, except maybe to the original series where everything was off the rails and they could do whatever, but they cared for continuity from TNG onwards, and it's insane that they can afford that. Like, that makes no sense to me. That also pulled me out of the episode immediately. I was like, what is this? Not even Earth has that. How did... I thought it was portrayed like 7 of 9's little ship was supposed to be like really good, like how it maneuvered and it managed to damage this bird of prey really easily. So I thought it was shown that even though the ship was ultimately destroyed, only for the purpose of them having this one ship, it's plot convenience, but it makes sense in a battle, so it's not bad writing. Where did she get that? That's not a negative point, mind you. That's just a question I'm asking, because it will probably, hopefully, be answered next episode. Like, did she steal it? She wasn't in Starfleet uniform. Obviously, this is a rogue operation, so... But I wonder what her allegiance is, how she found out about this little plan, how she found them. Like, she caught up with this ship. I thought the little ship of the pilot guy was, like, supposed to be pretty advanced, and he said he wasn't quicker than a shitty bird of prey. That's kind of weird. I guess maybe the bird of prey had a retrofitted. But still, it's weird. It's not very clear at all which ship is supposed to be better than the other one. And in Star Trek it had been shown before that small ships can easily outmatch huge ships, just if they are more advanced. If you think about the runabouts in Deep Space Nine, like, they were pretty much shuttles, size-wise, like just a few meters, and they could put up a fight against Dominion ships. They wouldn't have won, but they could survive, and that's something. Or the Defiant is actually pretty small, and it can pretty much beat a lot of things, all things considered. So I thought then they said the bird of prey outmatches them, but no, not really, but it's faster. Like, when they talk about speed, I assume warp speed. They could have warped away. I have no idea. That was unclear. That's a minor annoyance, nothing big. It's just something that I enjoy, making the power comparisons clear. Because otherwise you can just, like, talk your way out of a fight, like, oh yeah, we just beat them, even though they're supposed to be more powerful. And that's lame. I guess it's not as lame as stupid technobabble. Yes, I'm looking at you, Voyager. 7 of 9 was spoilered to me by the trailer, obviously. So I have nothing much to say, just that it makes sense to have a Borg and a Picard story, and I guess an ex-Borg story, and 7 of 9 being there makes a lot of sense. The Romulan evil guy will probably have a change of heart and join the good guys, or like backstab his girlfriend or whatever. It's been painfully obvious that will be the case from pretty much the first time we saw him, or saw his involvement with the bad guys. I wish it wasn't so cliched. I hate when Star Trek does love stories. That's not true. I hate when anything does a love story. But Star Trek's never really good at them. It's so cringy. I don't like that part. All in all, I chose the 1 to 5 out of 5 scale for a reason, because I like to be very clear, and I rather have a lot of things in one category. Like all of these are 5 out of 5, all of these are 4 out of 5, and have the categories be broad. And I don't want to think about every little thing on the scale from 1 to 10, or then even like after the digit, like, oh, it's 8.5 out of 10. That's so stupid. You can just say it's 17 out of 20, then you have scale out of 20. But I for the first time, I'm really struggling, because I want to be fair to this series. But 3 out of 5, honestly, is too high for me. I don't think it's creative enough. It's disappointing in many regards, and it's only tidbits that I find good. Like the Romulan lore and the overall story is at least mildly interesting, but everything else they do, it's just cringeworthy or doesn't make sense. The effects are good, that's something, but usually I don't let that influence my rating, like the visuals. I'm going to be very harsh today and say I will retroactively reduce episodes 2, 3, and then this one, episode 4, to 2 out of 5. This might change in the future if everything falls into place and makes sense more. But so far my favorite episode has been the first one. I said it didn't hook me, but I think it did a good enough job to hook me, and that's really all a first episode has to do, so I think that one deserves a 3 out of 5. I like the flashbacks, I like the action in that one. The action after that one has been pretty lame. I kinda liked how he lopped off the guy's head, although it wasn't necessary. It's a little bit of gratuitous violence, but I'm always a fan. I will be harsh. 2 out of 5 sounds very harsh. It would really be more 2.5. But I hate doing a 0.5 something. I want clearly defined things. I chose the 5-point scale, so I'll stick to it. I am a man/woman/something of conviction, so 2 out of 5 it is. I really hope the series picks up after this. I look forward to C7. She's one of my favorite characters of Voyager. I mean, she is only one of 2 characters who gets characterization, so it's not a tough choice to make. That's not true. More than that get characterization, but she had an arc and character development. Yeah. I just hope. I want to love the series, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan. And so far, everyone who has seen Picard really likes it. Likes it a lot. I think my mom likes it more than I do, too. I always watch episodes with her. And I feel like such a grumpy, pessimistic person for disliking it. But it honestly isn't that bad. It is watchable. Even if it stays like this and I have something to complain every episode, I would watch 3 seasons of this. And so far every Star Trek series has gotten better with time, so yeah. I guess I am positive somewhere deep down in my heart. So I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. Let me know what you think about the episode in the comments below. Subscribe to see more, and like this video. One of you is always liking it. Thank you, person, if you are even watching this. If you're not, still thank you. See you then. Bye.